godfather of the voyeurs drill. Shout out my boy DEMEGODTV.
It's Wave God in this motherfucker. Hey, shout my nigga Demi Tito.
Got the song pop like I'm Iggy. All they talking about is last night like I'm Demi. Say you got.
Rupees donated $5. Damn ski pulled the Michael.
Let's see what the
Dean family. Today we're doing a reaction to Black history, a history reaction. And if you didn't notice, the great legendary Amazonian warrior, Black woman, you feel me? Comedic woman, you feel me? Cosmic woman, you feel me? Yes, if y'all didn't know about it, they show you Dominican Republic, you feel me? She one of us, you feel me? Yeah, if y'all know about Queen California, Califa, you feel me? We gonna learn about her today. I hope y'all like this and enjoy it. Check out the DEMEGODTV colors in the description box below. Roll to 100K million bills. Click the subscribe button. Let's get into it.
Regarding the Black Panther Marvel movie, and that, we talked about the Jaguar Warriors earlier. Now I want to talk to you about the Dora Milaje, the women warriors from the movie Black Panther, and how they are supposedly a representation of the ancient Dahomey Amazons of Africa. So let's dig into this. It says here, Dahomey Amazons. The Dahomey Amazons, or Mino, which means our mothers, were a fun all-female military regiment of the Kingdom of Dahomey in the present-day Republic of Benin, which lasted until the end of the 19th century. They were so named by Western observers and historians due to their similarity.
That kind of like a lot of stuff that you watch now, bruh. Black females did that shit beforehand, man. You feel me? Like Futurama, etc., the Amazonians.
To the mythical Amazons of ancient Anatolia in the Black Sea. So they were named Amazonians, like the fabled Amazonian women warriors. Alright? They're not the actual Amazonians. You get what I'm saying? They were named due to the similarity to the mythical Amazons of ancient Anatolia and the Black Sea. It says here, origin. Alright, so pay attention. It says King Huegbaja, who ruled from 1645 to 1685. The third king of Dahomey is said to have originally started the group, which would become the Amazons as a corps of elephant hunters called the Gebeto. Alright, so again, when did they start? When did this warrior clan group, women warriors, when was it originally started? It says here in between 1645 to 1685. Alright, so that was started after. Alright, it doesn't go any more ancient than that. So they're not referring to the ancient Amazonian warriors that we had taught about in Greek mythology and legends, right? But look at the word Amazonians. Where does this word come from, Amazonians? If you don't know, we get the story of the Amazonian warriors mostly from Greek mythology, and it says here, since the epics of the Homeric poets, there have been references to mysterious and frightening stories of the Amazons. In the Iliad, composed around the 8th century BC, the Amazons were referred to as a man-like seasoned fighters. Man-like seasoned fighters. The implication is that in war, they were a match for men, and in terms of their prowess, physical strength, and courage. The Amazons appear in other Greek myths, such as the adventures of Heracles and Theseus. Herodotus recorded detailed information, possibly spurious, but nevertheless fascinating, about this tribe of women. In his account, the Amazons were presented as horse riders, skilled with the bow and arrow, deaf with the spear and ignorant of traditional women's work. Alright, so we're taught that this is a fable, this is a legend, it's just mythology. But where do they get these legends and mythology from? You know they hijacked the aboriginal truth. Because as it says here, it says the Amazons, the mythological Amazons, a kingdom of fierce warrior women, had fired European imaginations since the days of antiquity. Many of the conquistadors and explorers were on the constant lookout for legendary things and places. Christopher Columbus claimed to have found the Garden of Eden, and that's in the Orinoco when he got there. I believe on his third or fourth voyage. He said that this must be coming, this river Orinoco from the
So was he the snake that fucked over Adam and Eve? Cause that just makes
terrestrial paradise. And Juan Ponce de Leon's search for the fountain of youth, we just already talked about that, right? Are but two examples. As they made their way along the river, Orellana and his men heard tell of a kingdom of women and decided they had found the legendary Amazons. They believed, based on accounts extracted from natives along the way, that the mighty kingdom of the Amazons was a few days inland and that the river villages were Amazon vassal states. On one occasion, the Spanish saw women battling alongside men in one of the villages they raided. These they assumed must be the Amazons, according to Father Gaspar de Carvajal, whose eyewitness account survives today. The women were nearly naked, fair-skinned warriors who fought fiercely and who shot a bow so hard as to drive an arrow deeply into the wood of the Spaniards' raft. Amazons in America by William Bond. The first reports of Amazon warriors.
This what you call woman empowerment. Like women was on that shit for real. Like, hey yo, like we don't got women that's gonna be like this, like for real, gonna team up, group up, wanna build some shit like this. Bruh, this is like some shit like this, females go, but if you gotta do something with some foolishness, gotta turn up getting drunk, doing some dumb shit, meaningless shit, they be down for that shit. Stupid. Nothing to change.
Here's in America comes from Christopher Columbus on March 4th, 1493. Columbus wrote that he had encountered women warriors on the island of Martinique. He also claimed they covered themselves with copper plates and used bows and arrows made of sugar cane. This story is supported by Alfonso Ulloa, who accompanied Columbus on all four of his voyages to the New World. Also wrote about the women warrior of Martinique in his book, Historia del Señor Don Fernando Colombo. In this book, he wrote that the locals claimed that the island of Martinique was the only populated by women. Men from other islands would only come to the island at certain days of the year to collect boys and would bring the boy up. The Spanish also reported other islands called Las Mujeres, which means women in Spanish, and Consumel, where again women warriors were seen. Consumel is in Mexico. Unfortunately, these early Caribbean people were killed, raped, and enslaved by the Spanish conquistadors. Amazons were also killed, raped, and enslaved by the Spanish conquistadors. Amazons were also reported by the Spanish in California. Right, Queen Califa, California, right? Or Queen Sheba, California.
Remember, a lot of our states probably named after us, our people. You feel me? And they probably just named it after us because what's to tell that tribute or an honor. You feel me?
The emblem of America. Again, so the Amazons were also reported by the Spanish in California. Unfortunately, these reports are very controversial because not only were these tribes ruled by women, they were also black. Again, not all.
So it's confidential. Because it was black and there was women. Bruh, that's sad. That's pathetic. You feel me? Like, bruh, these people, elites, Romans, even y'all, Christopher Columbus, yeah, y'all fucked up. You feel me? Y'all got people believing shit that ain't even real. Man, that's fucked up. Like, y'all basically devaluing our women. Like, that's tough and messed up. Cause it's like, bruh, you devaluing our women, like telling them something that they ain't, making them believe something that they ain't, and giving them the reality what they should be and they shouldn't be. That's fucked up, you know?
Only were these tribes ruled by women, they were also black. Alright, again, emblem of America shows the Queen Khalifa, right? Supposed to be an allegory, but it's actually representing the black nations, so-called black nations, the black Californians, the aboriginals of California. When the Spanish first came to California, they found two races of people, the Indian people with racial features similar to Chinese, Japanese, Philippines, and black Amazons. Alright? Up until 1862, the origin of the name California was a mystery.
Then what you call your Latin Americans.
Until scholars discovered a novel written in 1521 by Garcia Ordonez de Montalvo, the book called The Exploits of the Very Powerful Cavalier Explandian, son of the excellent King Amadis of Gaul. Within this book was the story of Queen Califa, an Amazon queen. So it seems that when the Spanish first began to explore the northwest coast of America and discovered tribes of black Amazon women, they called the place California after this fictional Queen Califa. Fictional, right? But we know better. Now, the idea of black people in America before the Europeans discovered it is very controversial, but we've already debunked all that. We know the truth, right? The foundational truth. Who were the copper-colored tribes of America.
We know.
Yet archaeologists have discovered bodies of people different to that of the Asiatic Native Americans. In Brazil, a female skull was discovered in Lucia, having a long and narrow skull that was 12,000 years old. The same is true in Mexico. In Penang, another woman's skull was found of a similar type, 13,000 years old. What is even more controversial about all these skulls is that they're very much the same as Australia, Aborigines or African Bushmen. So if that is the case, what happened to these people? The black people in California just didn't suddenly disappear. They were later reported by the French and English explorers. The problem is that as black slaves from Africa were imported into America, they were confused in the minds of the European settlers with the native black people. Again, as black slaves from Africa were imported into America, they were confused in the minds of the European settlers with the native black people. As these people had no voice in the white man's history, their origins were obscured and forgotten. Okay? And until now, we're relearning, we're remembering, we're waking up, right? Alright, let's continue. In the book, The Discovery of the Large, Rich, and Beautiful Empire of Guyana, well, Guyana with a Y, right? With a relation of the great and golden city of Manoa, which the Spaniards call El Dorado, performed in the year 1595 by Sir Walter Raleigh. It says here, with regard to the account of the Amazons, it is not given us from personal observation, but as a report received from Indians, and current at the period we Raleigh wrote in his Guyana voyage, in which even Condamine, the French academician, considered probable. A dozen many testimonies in its favor in a discourse delivered before the French Academy. The account of a tribe of Amazons is almost coeval with the discovery of America. Christopher Columbus was told that the small island of Madanino, or Matinino, Montserrat, was inhabited by warlike women. And you get that account in many different books, alright? Montserrat. Orellana, his descent of the Marañón, was cautioned at the mouth of the Napo by an old chieftain to beware of the warlike women, and asserts that he afterwards met female fighting in the ranks of men. Hernando de Ribeira, the follower of Cabeza de Vega, the conquistador of Paraguay, asserts in 1545 that he heard a nation of Amazons who lived on the western side of a large lake.
The Amazons, bruh, you didn't want to fuck with them, bruh. They'll fuck your ass up. They ain't gonna give a fuck if you a man, woman, trans, whatever you is. They fucking your ass up. You fuck with them. Simple, like. We need badass, strong ass women like this. The fuck? Like, something like that, but shit, we need women like these to ride or die for us like these, you feel me?
which was poetically called the Mansion of the Sun because that orb sang in these traditions. The missionary Gili heard from an Indian of the Kwakwa tribe that the Aike Binanos, literally the women living alone, inhabited the banks of the Cuchivero, which falls into the Orinoco opposite the island of Taran, between Caycara and Alta Gracia. Condamine further adduces the testimony of two Spanish governors of the province of Venezuela, Don Diego, Francisco with a question mark, Portales and Don Francisco Torralba, which agreed in substance that a tribe of warlike women dwelt in the interior of Guyana. It is, however, extraordinary that if the tradition originated with Europeans, it was not only still in existence at the time of Condamine's voyage, but is even now current among all the Indian tribes who have had intercourse with the Caribs. The Indians of the lower Corentine of the Essequibo and the Rupununi declared to us in the gravest manner during our travels in these regions that the separate hordes of females still live on the upper part of the Corentine in a country called Marawane. The accounts we received respecting the country they inhabited were accompanied by such details that the tradition assumed some probability. Alright, they're saying some probability. This is real. These are facts. It would, however, be unjust to condemn Raleigh's proneness to a belief in their existence, when we find that even Southey, the learned historian of Brazil, makes his remark, "Had we never heard of the Amazons of antiquity, I should without hesitation believe in those of America. Their existence is not the less likely for that reason, and yet it must be admitted that the probable truth is made to appear suspicious by its resemblance to a known fable."
A fucking lie. Yeah, you right about that.
Again,
You seen that now.
this is not a fable. The Amazons are from the Amazons in America, warlike female groups, and this is before the 1600s, before the Dahomey Amazonians of Africa. And just one more thing, it says here, the journal of Christopher Columbus during his first voyage.
That make you think. They painted the Amazons to be giant, crazy human women when they ain't even like that. Like, the lies that they tell us.
1492-93, and the documents relating to the voyages of John Cabot and Gaspar Corte Real from the Halioc Society. And it says here, on Tuesday, 15th of January, the Admiral now wished to depart, for there was nothing to be gained by further delay after these occurrences, and the tumult with the Indians. Today he had heard that all the gold was in the district of the town of Navidad, belonging to their Highness, and that in the island of Carib there was much copper, as well as in Martinique. The intercourse at Carib would, however, be difficult, because the natives are said to eat human flesh. Their island would be in sight from thence, and the Admiral determined to go there, and it was on the route and thence to Martinique, which was said to be entirely peopled by women without men. He would thus see both islands, and Columbus himself said on 4th March 1493 that these women warriors of old Martinique covered themselves with brazen plates and used bows and arrows of cane. These Amazons have many of these plates. Alfonso Ulloa, a companion of Columbus on the famous voyages, wrote in his Historia del S.D. Fernando Colombo that the Admiral believed that the Indians Caribs told him of the Amazons of Matrimonio.
I want to visit and see my sisterins and my Amazonian queens. You feel? I want to meet them, meet some of them at least. You feel me? I want to meet them, like, bruh. I want to do an interview with them.
Or Martinique, because he saw the spirit and strength these women displayed. Ulloa also makes a significant comment, not that he appreciated the significance of the female cults of lunar worship practiced by these West Indian Amazons. Talking about West Indian Amazonians. So we have here Ana Kaona, golden flower. She was from Haiti. It says this is around 1490. That's how she, I guess, presumably looked in 1490. Anacaona was one of the highest caciques, or chief, katzin. Remember what that means. It's Hebrew for chief too. Cacique, katzin. Anacaona again was one of the highest caciques, or chief, who possessed the island of Hispaniola. When the Spaniards settled there, her date of birth and date of death are both unknown. She is a significant icon in early Haitian history, the primordial founder of Haiti, and she is considered to be the first Haitian hero. She is revered and immortalized in the intertwining histories of both Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Her name, Arawak, Anacaona, means golden flowers. She married Kaonabo. So let's remember Anacoa, because it says here Anacoa became chief of Jaragua. After her brother's death, her husband Kaonabo, suspected of having organized a recent attack on La Navidad, a Spanish settlement on northwestern Hispaniola, was captured by Alonso de Ojeda and shipped to Spain, dying in a shipwreck during the journey. As many other Taino leaders died on Spanish ships away from their native lands. So who got enslaved and sent in ships? Indians, Native Americans. Future video, I'll show you the transatlantic slave trade where it started. The Tainos, being ill-treated by the conquerors, revolted and made a long war against them. In 1503, during a meeting of 80 caciques, including Anacaona, the Spanish governor Nicolas de Ovando ordered the meeting house to be set on fire to burn them alive. Similar to what centuries later occurred to Rigoberta Menchu's family in Guatemala, Cacica Anacaona and her Taino noblemen were arrested, all accused of conspiracy for resisting occupation, and executed. Prior to her execution, Anacaona was offered clemency if she would give herself as concubine to one of the Spaniards which was common in that area. Standing with her fellow Tainos in solidarity, the Caribbean indigenous female leader, Cacica, shows execution over colluding with the Spanish enemy, her refusal cementing her legend. Anacaona remained rebellious and independent until her violent public death. Because Anacaona refused the sexual offer of the Spanish intruders, while others were shot, Anacaona was executed by hanging. She was only 29 years old. It's really, I'm gonna say it fucked up.
Facts.
What happened to the ancestors here of America? And this female warrior. This is before the 1600s. Alright, this is a real Amazonian. Right? From the fables of Greek. You can see this is not a made up story. She's part of history. A real character. A female warrior. A West Indian Amazon.
Don't catch you slipping up.
When we're talking about fables and Amazonians, Greek legends, we're talking about ancient times. And when we're talking about the true old world, you know we're talking about America. All these mythical lands, these legends of these people that lived in these lands, these were Aboriginal Americans.
I like that. That was educational, knowledgeable. Hope you guys like that. Nation, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video on all social media. And comment below what reaction you want to do next. See you guys next time. Love you guys. I'm out.